Wrestling is a form of martial art, combat sport, and athletic entertainment centered on grappling, where opponents attempt to control one another through throws, takedowns, holds, and positional dominance according to an established rule set. It uses a broad range of close quarters techniques, including clinches, throws, trips, joint controls, pins, and various submission-type grips. Over time, many of these methods influence other fighting systems, modern combat sports, and military training programs. Wrestling appears in many forms around the world. The most widely known in popular culture is professional wrestling, which blends sport with scripted performance. Authentic competitive styles include Greco-Roman, freestyle, folk style, judo, sambo, catch wrestling, shoot style, luta livre, submission wrestling, sumo, pelwani, shuai jiao, and several regional forms. The sport made its debut in the ancient Olympic Games during the 18th Olympiad in 708 BC. Numerous traditional and modern variants exist, each with its own rules. The English word wrestling traces back to the Old English term rustlunge. Wrestling is often considered one of humanity's oldest combat disciplines, with origins dating 15,000 to 17,000 years, according to French cave drawings. Ancient Babylonian and Egyptian art shows early wrestlers applying recognizable techniques. References appear throughout early texts, including the Hebrew Bible and ancient Indian scriptures. In Genesis, Jacob grapples with a divine being. Homer's Iliad includes wrestling scenes set during the Trojan War. India's epics Ramayana and Mahabharata describe martial traditions involving wrestling. Chinese legends say the Yellow Emperor fought the rebel Qi Yu using the early form of Shuai Jiao, which was initially known as Jiao Di. In ancient Greece, wrestling held major cultural and athletic importance, serving as a core event in the Olympic Games and a frequent subject in literature and philosophy. The Romans later adopted Greek wrestling, but modified rules to reduce its brutality. Numerous authors and thinkers, including Plato, Socrates, Aristotle, Xenophon, Epictetus, Seneca, Plutarch, and Marcus Aurelius, referenced or practiced wrestling. Plato was even said to have competed at the Isthmian Games. Many of his dialogues take place in wrestling schools. Pindar wrote odes praising champions of wrestling, pankration, boxing, and other contests held at Greece's major Panhellenic festivals. During the Middle Ages, 5th–10th century, wrestling remained widely practiced and was supported by ruling families across Europe and Japan. When British settlers arrived in North America, they brought their wrestling traditions, and the sport was already common among many Native American cultures. Wrestling became a regular activity at fairs, holidays, and military drills. The first organized national tournament in the United States was held in New York City in 1888. Wrestling has been included in every modern Olympic Games since 1904. Greco-Roman was part of the first modern Olympics in 1896, but omitted in 1900. The sport's international governing body, now known as United World Wrestling (UW), was created in 1912 in Antwerp. The first NCAA championships were held in 1928, and USA Wrestling became the national authority in 1983. Egyptian tomb art from around 2300 BC and additional artwork from 2001–085 BC depict wrestling. Greek wrestling flourished from roughly 1100 to 146 BC. Turkey's national sport, oil wrestling, traces its roots to Central Asia. After Rome absorbed Greek culture, Greek wrestling evolved into the Roman form. China's Shuai Jiao, according to legend, has a history of over 4,000 years. Islamic tradition describes the Prophet Muhammad as a skilled wrestler who once defeated a challenger. Byzantine sources record that Emperor Basil I once overcame a Bulgarian wrestler. In 1520, during the Field of the Cloth of Gold, Francis I reportedly threw King Henry VIII in a match. British folk styles such as Lancashire wrestling influenced what later became catch-as-catch-can wrestling. Scottish and Irish variants, including collar and elbow, eventually spread to America and contributed to the development of folk-style wrestling, today the primary scholastic and collegiate form in the United States. A French pioneer is often credited with systematizing what evolved into Greco-Roman wrestling, which became widespread in Europe by the 19th century. The rise of athletic clubs helped formalize Greco-Roman and later freestyle wrestling. Prize competitions boosted their popularity in Europe, the UK, and the United States. Greco-Roman entered the first modern Olympics in 1896, freestyle in 1904, and women's freestyle in 2004. Celtic regions have their own long wrestling heritage, with contests mentioned in the ancient Tailteann Games, variously dated between 1839 BC and the early medieval era. Styles such as Cornish wrestling, Goran, and collar and elbow likely share ancient